So let's take a look at Raging Rhino's page for a second here. Hit that follow button. Boink. That's a good thing to do. Emotes by Alice Moonster. Oh, that's cool. And these are cute. Look at these things. Rules. Instagram. Something important I fight for. Save the rhino. Nice, on point. That's so good. Support. And disease. Oh, goodness. Crohn's disease. Okay. Our friend has that disease, and he fights hard. He definitely fights hard. And is there an about? Is there an about? I'm looking. Nope. All right. Well, I guess we just have to make it up. All right. Since Raging Rhino doesn't have an about me, if I missed it, apologies. So the reason why Raging Rhino became who he is, and you guys, this is kind of an origin story. So maybe this is why it's not on his about page. So basically, there was a time where Raging Rhino was a normal man like you and I, growing up in the world. And he was always very passionate about rhinos. And one day, he saved up all his money. He worked tirelessly for years doing charity work. And charity work doesn't pay. And he finally saved enough, scraped it together, and he took his family out to see the great rhinos. They went to Africa to do it. And while they're out on safari, he saw the worst thing that you could possibly see. He saw a velociraptor. I'm not sure why this thing was alive and living, but this thing was bigger than a rhino. And it was chasing, not like, maybe it's more like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but it could be an oversized. I don't know. I would conceal the thing. Anyways, and he saw just one of these things chasing down a rhino, and the rhino had, what do you call a baby rhino? I don't know. But, and then the mother rhino stopped because the herd was running away. The velociraptor was like, right? It was all craziness. And Raging Rhino saw this, and they were on safari, and normally a passive person, but he couldn't take it anymore. And he's like, they let him drive. I don't know why. And he took the safari vehicle. He took this thing and he just punched it, pulled on the wheel, and he was bumping across the freaking savannah. And this velociraptor was bearing down on this baby rhino. It was like, right? It was crazy. And all of a sudden, the mother starts to charge, and she's like, she digs in, right? And she's got the crazy horn, and he knows if she charges the velociraptor, it's going to be nothing but deep cuts and gashes. The velociraptor versus rhino is not a very good outcome, because they're agile, they can dodge, right? And they scratch and they bite. Oh my God, they're neck biters. I would not have a velociraptor as a girlfriend, that's for sure. So he pulls the wheel and he's just gunning for it, and you can see it, the rhino charging, right? And the velociraptor coming as well. And then here he comes down the side and he plows into the velociraptor on the side with the safari vehicle. It's like a Jeep, right? And he just smashes this thing. But the thing is that when you're going that fast, something crazy happened, and the velociraptor actually wound up getting almost eviscerated. And so the head of this thing came off. It was so gory and scary. And it flew through the air and crashed through the windshield. And it basically caused the whole Jeep to just flip over. And Raging Rhino, that was his nickname back then as well, he flies out of this thing, right? And unfortunately, the rhino that was charging the velociraptor caught Raging Rhino in the midsection on her horn, and she tossed it around. And he was like, "Oh no!" He got fully impaled, right? It's like it was a horn coming out of his backside. He was like, "No!" He looked like he was trying to ride a cow, or a bull, as a cowboy. And then he got bucked off, spun in the air, and he hit the ground. The Jeep went flying. But luckily it didn't completely crash out of the way. People are screaming, everyone was okay, but Raging Rhino was there in the dust, and the calf was fine. And Raging Rhino said, "I'm glad I could protect you from the velociraptor outbreak." And then he was just not doing so well. And as he kind of tried to crawl his way back to his family, they were looking onwards, and the rhino, all with his gore and viscera, she came over to him and she sniffed him. And she gave him these licks, and the calf came over as well, and they started licking his body. I don't know why the rhinos were doing this. and they kind of helped him kind of to his feet. And for some reason, I don't know what the cause was for it, but these licks actually started to repair his body. His body started to reform. The gashes at his internal organs were all starting to mend, and he could, in just a short period of time, where he had these little like rhino horns and helping him up underneath his arms, he then felt powerful and strangely itchy because he was transforming. And then out from the woods, a larger T-Rex came into the clearing. And Raging Rhino was like, ah! He was crazy, filling with like rhinoceros, like don't back down energy. And then he grew in size. He made the Hulk look like it was a different thing. And he grew this like appendage in the front of his forehead as it elongated, and his eyes got a little bit bigger and they kind of got more bloodshot. And then he got this grayish mottled skin that just kind of broke out all of his clothing. And as he grew to almost 12 feet giant size, he just fucking took off. He was like, "Rah, rah." Then Tyrannosaurus was like, "Ah!" Right? And then they just locked. And the thing is when you lock hands with a Tyrannosaurus, even though he's got little tiny arms, you can still grab him. And Raging Rhino grabbed these things, and he's like, "Rah!" He's like trying to like shake them violently. And he's like, "You will not, Tyrannosaurus!" And he like did a suplex over by its little arms, and it went flying. And he crashed in the ground. And I think that's where Raging Rhino got basically his streaming superpower.